Hello and welcome back to Acquire English Live. This is episode 40. My name is Adam. I'm an English teacher from the United States. I'm here with Tuan, an English teacher from the UK. How are you doing today, Tuan?
I'm okay, not too bad, thanks.
Great. So now, Tuan, whenever I think about learning a language or learning anything in general, I kind of think of it like weightlifting. So sometimes you see very muscular guy, right? Big arms, big chest, right? Lots of muscles. But you look at his legs and he has really skinny legs, really thin, skinny legs. And it's very obvious to tell that that person hasn't been training their whole body, right? So I think about learning a language, and then of course we're talking about learning English, so let's make it specific to English. But you kind of need to train all areas. So if I were to study English, I definitely have some sort of grammar book. I enjoy grammar. I kind of like grammar. Many people don't. So I would have some kind of grammar book. I prefer Grammar in Use, that series. I think it's a good one. Has lots of good explanations, lots of good examples. So I would train my grammar. Okay, that's one muscle that I'm training. I would train my listening. So you can do that lots of different ways, watching movies, if you have Netflix, something like that, subtitles on, subtitles off, watch it once with subtitles, watch it once without subtitles, switch it up. Of course, we have our training videos where we do lots of listening and repeating, and of course, shadowing, meaning speaking with the speakers. So you're also training that muscle. So there's all these separate muscles. But you notice, like, many people have that one very, big portion of English that's missing, and that's actually speaking, actually talking to people. So you need to find some way to speak with people. You need to find a way, again, to, work that muscle and to speak with people. And of course, we have the Acquire English Club. Relatively new. I think we've had it for a little over a month now. So let's go ahead and check out the website. So the Acquire English Club, it's aenglish.club if you want to check it out. You take lessons with native English teachers. That's generally Tuan and I. We are trained professional English teachers. You can meet and chat with people from all over the world and improve your speaking. So again, it's just all about flexing that muscle. It's all about practicing that speaking. So we have two types. You can be a guest member and take some free classes, or you can become an Acquire English Club member and take unlimited classes for $9.99 per month. And that's unlimited classes. You can usually take, we usually have 10 to 12 per week. So this week, we have one more free class this Saturday, June 5th. It's in the evening here in Japan. You can choose your time zone here. So be sure to check where your time zone is. And then, of course, we have many members-only classes coming up. So Tuan, last Saturday, right, you taught one of the classes, right? What did you do in that class? What was the subject? What kind of questions did you ask, or did the students discuss?
So we discussed education. It's quite a universal subject. Everyone's been to school, so it's something that anyone can talk about. I had a list of questions. I sent email to everyone first, and we just put everyone to pairs, and we just worked off that.
Okay, right. So yeah, generally each class will be something like that. You'll have some sort of discussion questions, and then the teacher will explain if there's any special grammar point very shortly at the beginning. It's usually not going to be much of a lesson in terms of that, but the teacher will explain the things you need to have a successful discussion with any sort of grammar, and then introduce those questions, right? Those discussion questions. You'll split into small groups, 2, 3, maybe 4 people, and then discuss those questions. If there's time, you might switch members as well. You might switch members of your group. So what this is, again, we're trying to flex each muscle so we don't have just, strong shoulders or just strong arms. We want a strong body of English, if you're still with me on my metaphor here. We want all around overall good English. We need to speak. We need to practice speaking. We don't just want to have a good IELTS or TOEIC score. We want to be strong speakers. So please check out the Acquire English Club. It's aenglish.club. So let's get on to the lesson. And in today's conversation, we are talking about going to lunch. So let's go ahead and listen to today's conversation. Do you want to grab lunch at the place around the corner?
Actually, I'd rather go somewhere else.
Oh, don't you like it?
Not really. It's always crowded and too noisy.
That's true.
It's too expensive too.
Okay. Would you rather have ramen?
You read my mind.
All right. And let's go ahead and break down the grammar for this conversation. So the first line, we had this one here. Do you want to grab lunch at the place around the corner? So do you want to grab lunch at the place around the corner? So we often use grab a few different situations, but in this situation, grab just means eat lunch. And the biggest difference is that when we use, do you want to eat lunch at the place around the corner? Do you want to grab lunch at the place around the corner? Grab to me sounds just a bit quicker. This is not a 2-hour lunch where we sit and chat and have coffee, right? We're working together. This is, go quickly, go eat lunch and then get out type of situation. That's usually how I would use grab. It doesn't sound like it'll take a long time. Okay. And then, so do you want to eat lunch at the nearby restaurant around the corner? Of course, here we have our office building. And then we go down to the corner, and around the corner, there's a restaurant over here. So the restaurant around the corner. Okay, let's look at the next sentence.
Actually, I'd rather go somewhere else.
Okay, so actually, I'd rather go somewhere else means no, I want to go to a different restaurant. So actually, we use just for a kind of polite no. So do you want to go to lunch? Actually, in this case, it's just a nice way to say, no, I don't. And then would rather means there is another thing that I like or I want more. So I would like or I want to go to a different restaurant. I don't want to go to the place around the corner. Did I miss anything there, Tuan? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And the next, so let's get into would rather a bit more in detail. So again, would rather means there is another thing that I like or I want more. So maybe you're in a situation where people say, would you like some tea? So would you like some tea? We might answer, I would rather have coffee. What this means is right now, specifically in this situation, I want coffee more than I want tea. Okay, so one more time, I'll say that. I would rather have coffee means right now in this situation, I want coffee more than I want tea. It doesn't mean I don't like tea, right? It only means I want coffee right now. Maybe normally you like tea, but only in this situation you want coffee. So I'd rather have coffee. This specific situation means I want coffee more than I want tea right now. Okay, so let's take a look at the difference between rather and prefer. So same situation, maybe you're at your friend's house. Your friend says, would you like some tea? And you say, I would rather have coffee. Okay, again, that means right now you want coffee more than tea. You could also say, I would prefer coffee. Same meaning. I would rather have coffee. I would prefer coffee. Same meaning. Right now, this specific situation, I want coffee more than I want tea right now. If we're talking about in general, just basically no specific situation, just in general, we could say, I prefer coffee to tea. So we remove that would from prefer and we get, I prefer coffee to tea. This is in general. Most of the time, I like coffee more than tea. Okay? We can also use would rather to talk about a general situation. So I would rather have coffee. This means in general. Okay. However, we cannot remove the would from rather. We can't say, I rather coffee. That doesn't work. There is another use of rather, but it's completely different meaning. We're not going to get into it today, but just notice there's a different meaning for rather, but it's not so important for this lesson. So one more time, if we're talking about specific situation, I would rather have coffee or I would prefer coffee. Just means right now in this situation. Okay. I prefer coffee to tea is in general. I would rather have coffee or tea in general. Okay. So Tuan, in general, would you rather have coffee or tea?
In general, I would rather have tea.
That's very British of you. I would much rather have coffee every situation. Although right now I'm drinking tea, but I would rather have coffee. Is that okay? In general. But right now I'm drinking tea. So right now I would rather have tea. Is that okay? Let's go on to our next sentence from the conversation.
Oh, don't you like it?
So remember, Tuan didn't want to go to that restaurant around the corner. So I say, oh, don't you like it? This means I'm surprised. It seems that you don't like it. Is that true? Remember, Tuan said, actually, I'd rather go somewhere else. So it seems he doesn't like it. So we've talked about negative questions in past lessons, but we use these negative questions, these don't you, to show surprise. So don't you like it, or didn't you, or aren't you, or won't you, or wouldn't you? The negative form comes at the beginning there. And we use these to show surprise. So Tuan didn't want to go to the restaurant. So I say, oh, don't you like it? I'm a little surprised. I think maybe he doesn't like the restaurant. Okay. And the next line is?
Not really. It's always crowded and too noisy.
Okay. So not really. So he doesn't really like the restaurant. It's always crowded and too noisy. So no, I don't like it. There are always a lot of people. In this case, a lot of people equals crowded, and it's too noisy. It's too loud. So there are always a lot of people and it's too loud. So not a relaxing place to have lunch. Okay. The next line.
That's true.
That's true just means I agree. I agree with you. Okay. And the next line.
It's too expensive too.
Okay. It's too expensive too. So we have two twos, two TOOs here with different meanings, right? The second one means also. So it means also it costs more money than I want to pay. That's too expensive. So it's crowded, it's noisy, and it costs more money than I want to pay. It's too expensive. Okay, many reasons they don't want to go there. And the next line.
Okay, would you rather have ramen?
So, okay, would you rather have ramen means, would you prefer ramen? Okay, again, we have this prefer specific situation means, do you want to eat ramen more than going to that restaurant? And the last sentence is?
You read my mind.
You read my mind means, yes, that's what I was thinking. So this does not mean I have some kind of special power to understand what Tuan is thinking, right? That's not what that means, okay? I don't have such a big forehead, right? I cannot read people's minds. Mind reading means to know what people are thinking. So you read my mind just means that's what I was thinking. So if you say something and your friend was thinking the same thing, we can use this, oh, you read my mind. Just means I was thinking the same thing. Is that okay? So let's go back and get into these would you rather questions. Let's practice some of these. And if you have some answers, please leave them in the comments below. So would you rather? So the first one, Tuan, would you rather eat pizza or sushi for lunch tomorrow? What do you think? Pizza or sushi for lunch tomorrow?
I would rather eat sushi for lunch.
What's your
Lighter.
Yeah, lighter, nice light
Yeah.
lunch?
Pizza is a little heavy. Maybe, I don't know, I'll get a little sleepy.
I see.
Sushi is just about a right portion, I think.
Sure. What's your favorite sushi?
I like scallops.
Oh man, you read my mind.
Yeah.
That's how I was going to say the same thing. Yeah. What is it? What is a scallop? Could you explain? Maybe some people don't know what a scallop is.
It's a shellfish. It's usually, how would you describe it? It's a shellfish. It's usually quite large.
Yeah. Usually
White in color.
Yeah. Kind of light color, whitish color. Yeah, those are my favorite. In fact, last week, my wife and I went and had sushi. I think I ate about 6 of those. That was kind of my go-to. But yeah, I'm the same way. That's always what I want. It's my favorite. Okay, especially if they cook it just slightly, some butter and soy sauce. It's also really good. They take a little blowtorch to it. Oh, sounds good. Okay, so how about the next one? Could you ask, would you rather?
Would you rather live in a big city or live in the countryside?
Yeah, I think about this probably daily since I live in one of the biggest cities in the world. Often you get frustrated living in a big city, but I think I would rather live in a big city than live in the countryside, especially right now. You know, married with young kids, I think I like the city. It's very convenient. There's a big choice of restaurants. Yeah, I would prefer to live in the city. How about you? Would you rather live in a city or live in the countryside?
I'm in a suburban area, so somewhere in between. But yeah, I would love. I used to live in a urban area, so I do miss it. I prefer the city, to be honest.
Yeah, it's fun too, especially a city like Tokyo or where we are in Yokohama, both very safe places as well. So it helps. Maybe if it were a more dangerous big city, I don't know if I would want to live in the city with kids, but in Japan, it's generally very safe here. So, and very convenient. So I think I would rather live in the big city. How about the next one? Would you rather go a month without Facebook or YouTube?
Without Facebook, I think that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hooked on YouTube, so that'd be quite tough.
Yeah. What do you usually go to? What's your go-to channel on YouTube? Is there one? What do you watch most?
I usually listen to a lot of music now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just an easy way to find new music or just to play music. And I think seems like most people are using YouTube for, if you look at the most popular videos, it's all music.
Yeah. Do you subscribe? Do you go ad-free on YouTube, or do you watch the ads?
I watch the ads.
Okay. Yeah. It's tempting sometimes. YouTube keeps showing more and more advertisements on their videos, but
they're getting worse with it. Yeah. How about you? Which one would you rather?
Yeah, this is pretty easy. I think I would go a month without Facebook. Generally, I use Facebook to waste time. I often use YouTube to learn something. Like I need to know how to do something. How I see some kind of fruit I've never eaten before at the supermarket, but I want to try it. So I go home and I search, how do you cut this fruit? And it'll tell you how to cut it. I use YouTube a lot more for educational purposes. So Facebook, I just kind of, it's a good way to waste 10 minutes of me scrolling, seeing what my friends from high school are doing now. So definitely I value YouTube more. I could go without Facebook, no problem. Okay. And the last one, would you rather take lessons online or face-to-face? What do you think?
Depends where the school is or where the lessons are. If they're close, I don't mind face-to-face, but generally if it's a little far, yeah, I'll prefer online, to be honest. It's just a little more convenient. Yourself?
Yeah, these days especially, I'd rather go online. It's of course fun to have face-to-face, but it's not as practical, I think, in many situations. And you save a lot of time by not going places as well. So yeah, I think I'd rather take lessons online for the most part. And of course, it would be silly not to say that, don't forget, we have our online courses, right? We have online courses on Udemy, online courses on Skillshare. And I think most importantly, we have, as we mentioned at the beginning, the Acquire English Club. Again, a chance to speak, a chance to meet people from around the world. Yeah, where your last class, Tuan, where were the people from?
Bangladesh, Pakistan, the Philippines. Yeah, quite a few number of countries.
Yeah. Recently, we've had a lot of different ones. Russia, Czech Republic, we've had Ukraine, Hungary, Poland. Yeah, lots of different European countries. Philippines,
Taiwan.
popular. Taiwan, yeah, Japan as well. Yeah, so it's a real good opportunity as well to kind of learn about the world. That's what I notice each time, is I think I learn a little bit about each country, a little more every lesson I have. I think we only get, our information about other countries is very limited until we actually meet someone from that country. It really changes our experience. So hope you will give it a shot. Our next free lesson is this Saturday, June 5th. So please come check it out. You can sign up on the website, aenglish.club. And if you ever have any questions, of course, feel free to contact us on Facebook. Okay. Anything else to add today, Tuan?
No, I think it's Sunday, isn't it?
We can check. Next class is
Saturday. Okay.
Yep, Saturday, June 5th. So again, before you sign up, be sure to check out your time zone as well. There's a little spot up here. A lot of people have gotten confused. It's 10:30 p.m. our time in Japan here. But of course, it's not going to be the same in your country. So you can just click on that little drop down and figure it out. If you're in Thailand, we had a member from Thailand last time as well. Again, 8:30 p.m. So hopefully you can
also,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, be careful with your email address too. We always get a few people inputting their wrong email address, and they're probably maybe confused that they're not getting an email. Is because you've given us the wrong email address.
Right, that's true. We're getting a lot of bounce backs on some emails. Maybe people don't want to give their email address, but we will send you all of the class information in an email about 15 minutes to an hour before the lesson. So yeah, that's the only way for us to contact you. That's the only way for you to join the lesson. So yeah, be careful when you put in that email address. Otherwise, you will not be able to join. Okay. So thank you very much for watching. Again, any questions, let us know, and we will talk to you again next time. Thank you. See you.